Hello everybody, IAmPixel, and today I thought I would share with you guys my impressions on the Titanfall Beta. However, I thought that I'd mix things up a little bit and I've changed the format around just a teeny bit. And this is going to be more of a frequently asked questions. I hope that you enjoy. Let's not waste any time and let's get straight to it.
I have absolutely no idea what this game is.
Well, my friend, as it is kind of obvious to me that you've been living under a rock for the past few months, let me try and explain. This is Titanfall, a multiplayer-only shooter by Respawn Entertainment, a developer comprising of a lot of the ex-Infinity Ward guys that made games like Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2. This game is kinda like what would happen if Crysis 3 and Hawken got together on a steamy night out and then had a dirty little bastard child. You start each round on foot as a pilot and you gain points by playing the objective or getting kills on the AI minions or other pilots and titans, preferably both. And in return it reduces your cooldown on your titan, and once your cooldown hits 0 you press V and you call down your big ass mech from the sky, which can then be piloted or left in AI mode. That is completely up to you. And then you eventually die and you rinse and repeat. Kinda simple.
Well, if I was to be totally honest, it kinda just looks like Call of Duty with robots to me.
And surprisingly, you would actually be kind of right. The gunplay, the artistic style, and even the basic feel all seem to hark back to COD. However, saying that, the game has got so much more hidden depth than what you would likely expect. It simply takes the very best aspects of the Call of Duty franchise and kind of expands on them. And yeah, that also does mean that if you're not a fan of the Call of Duty franchise, or the gunplay, or the art style, or the feel, then Titanfall is unlikely going to find a place in your heart. Then again, saying that, I honestly do believe that this game has got more in common with games like Crysis 2 and 3 and games like Hawken than any of the Call of Duty games ever have. So, who knows, you may be surprised.
This is supposed to be next gen and it's only got 6 vs 6. Pathetic.
Right, let me just start off by saying that judging a game based on its player count is just plain silly. Although I do have to admit it would have been kinda nice to be given the option on the PC, but that's not really the point. From what I have seen so far on the maps and modes available in the PC beta, it is that increasing the player count would seriously reduce the whole fun factor of the game. And that's not to mention the fact that the maps are just simply not big enough for it. Hell, I mean, on the rare occasions where 3 or 4 players on each team manage to get their titans up at the same time, you really start to notice the issues with both the balance and, well, the fun. If this game did not involve the titans, I would have to agree with the 6 vs 6 hate going around. I mean, I would love to see Angel City map with no titans but 12 players on each team. It would be crazy to say the least. However, that is not possible right now, so balancing the player numbers around the titans is essential. Just have it known that making assumptions of a game's quality based off its player limits is more than a little bit dumb.
But good sir, if what you say is true about the 6 vs 6, then why is there AI controlled bots all over the place?
Well, to call them bots in the first place is being more than a little bit generous. I mean, normally bots would be AI controlled players that would have all the same abilities and functions that you have yourself. Where in the case of Titanfall, these AI controlled characters, also known as minions, are used in pretty much the same way as a traditional MOBA game, kind of like your Dota or League of Legends. You want to kill as many of these as fast as possible in order to speed up the production of your Titan. They also keep the action flowing and ensure that the less skilled players still have something to shoot at. I mean, without them, the Titans themselves would turn into nothing more than a stereotypical Call of Duty style kill streak. They also do a lot more for the overall feel of the game. I mean, it would get pretty dull if everyone apart from you is in a Titan and you don't really have any way to reduce the time on your Titan build, right? I mean, removing the minions would be like removing the zombies from Left 4 Dead or the minions from Dota. Sure, the game would still technically work, but it would be a very different game indeed.
Well, I have to admit the Titans do look like a lot of fun, but so does the wall running. I just don't know what to do.
Luckily for you, it's not like you actually have to choose. Having played many rounds sticking mostly on foot and then many other rounds sticking inside a Titan, I quickly learned that either playstyle works very well. Let it be known though, keeping up a healthy balance between the two is what I would consider optimal, especially in modes such as Hardpoint. I have to be honest though, once there are a few Titans up at once, gameplay can start to feel a little bit spammy, Personally, I love to take advantage of the nifty Titan AI, and when things get a little bit hectic, do some additional damage on foot. Overall, I think that you will enjoy both styles equally, and, well, it's your choice, play it how you like.
Oi mate, are you fucking serious? There is no way you can balance them big fuck off Titans with these small tiny pilots. So much in this fucking game looks overpowered, mate.
Bearing in mind that this is just a beta and I've not played the full game, so I cannot really comment on the full game's balance, I have to say from what I have got my hands on so far, the game does feel really well balanced. However, saying that, I will be doing a separate video on balance versus fun and focusing on some of the weapons from Titanfall, so do keep an eye out for that. But, like I did mention, this is a whole different story. When it comes to the very basic balance, everything just seems to work really well. I mean, the agile pilots with their anti-Titan weapons, the wall running, the double jumping and the ability to ride on their backs are actually more than capable of taking down a Titan in a 1 versus 1 fight. I mean, sure, it takes time. And yes, it only takes one shot from a Titan to kill you in most circumstances, but if you do play really smart, it's actually a remarkably fair fight. Saying that, the Titans themselves do feel really powerful, and it's kind of funny really. I think the reason why they do feel so powerful is the fact that you don't die instantly, unlike when you are on foot. It really helps you feel like you are powerful, and a good Titan pilot can rack up a ridiculous amount of kills on minions, pilots, and even other Titans. Believe me, I totally understand how backwards it all sounds when I'm trying to talk about balance and saying that everything feels really powerful. But honestly, the Titan, the pilot and the minion balance is almost perfect. In fact, the only thing that I would consider overpowered in the game is real teamwork.
Roll up, everybody roll up, get your burn cards here, 100% guaranteed not to get you banned. Developer approved hacks, yay!
Okay, so burn cards are like mini perks which are super powerful, but they only last for 1 life. Not 1 round, 1 life. You select them as you spawn and you lose them as you die. Are they powerful? Yes. Are they overpowered? Yes. Should they be removed? No, and the reason I say this is because everyone does get the chance to use them. I mean, sure, some are more powerful than others, and in the hands of a really good player it can be really frustrating to try and kill him. However, I found that they managed to introduce me to new ways of playing the game, and it can be a lot of fun besides. But saying all that, I do believe they should be removed completely from competitive play, and this is mainly due to the fact that you don't always have all the different variations of perk cards at any one time, which means you cannot ensure 100% fairness / balance in a match. As powerful as they are, like mentioned, die and they are gone. Sure, they are not balanced or fair, but they can be a hell of a lot of fun, so I enjoy them personally. You'll have to try them for yourself and make up your own mind though.
Well, I have to say, all this wall running stuff just looks like a gimmick to prove to people that it's not COD.
You, sir, could not be more wrong if you tried to be. In general, a gimmick in gaming is a feature which is added and focused on while not actually doing much to the overall core gameplay. I.e. the Levolution in Battlefield 4 or the Call of Duty Ghost Squad mode, or even sleeping with blue people in Mass Effect. Where the parkour in Titanfall actually feels much more than that. And I think it's mainly due to the fact that it's just been implemented so well. I mean, heck, I've even got an itch now to see some more old school PC deathmatch arena shooter using this kind of movement system, and I really do hope it happens. I mean, once you master it and you'll really start to understand what this adds to the game. This could be the first game in a long line of games which uses this kind of movement system, and I am just so glad to see it, finally. A game where you can move freely while still having full control over your character. It's something to behold, guys. Honestly, you need to get used to it and you'll totally understand what I'm talking about.
Well, since it is using the PC's best gaming engine, the PC board's gonna be epic, right?
Let me start by saying I totally understand why people have been making this assumption. I mean, after all, some of the best optimized games on the PC run on the Source engine. However, what a lot of people are failing to understand is the IW engine, I mean the one that Call of Duty is developed on, and the Source engine are very similar. I believe the Source engine was selected not because of its PC friendliness or anything like that. I believe it was selected due to the fact that the majority of the developers at Respawn would already have a deep understanding of the engine. Heck, I mean, even in beta you can see that the graphics, the feel and the features of the IW engine have been emulated almost flawlessly. And that brings me on to some of my concerns. I mean, already in the beta we can notice that there is no text chat in the game, although I have heard that this has just been removed for the beta, but I mean, only time will tell. The frame rate is also locked to 60 FPS unless you use VSync on a 120Hz monitor. Also, your mouse movement is locked to your frame rate, which means if it stutters or moves, you're gonna get what feels like this awful negative mouse acceleration. Titanfall does also not have mod support, server browser, developer console or community run dedicated servers. Right now I have to say I am very worried about the PC port quality of the full release. One thing that this did enlighten me to though is, surprisingly, after all these years of throwing blame towards Activision for the horrible PC support for Modern Warfare 2, it actually seems like we've been aiming our flak in the wrong direction, as almost every single one of them anti-PC design choices have also made their way into Titanfall. I mean, crazy, right? While I have to admit Respawn have made a stellar game, I fear that their arrogance could once again deliver us a subpar PC experience, and that really does make me kind of sad. I mean, all that said, this is beta, and beta is beta, so we could all be surprised on the full release, right? Right? Anybody? Yeah, I know it's unlikely, but I mean, only time will tell. We'll see.
Sergeant Pepper here. What is the netcode like, sir?
While you would be correct in thinking that most Source Engine games have pretty decent, or at least tried and tested so-called netcode, I am still having a few hiccups with Titanfall. Even though most of the people that I see covering the game seem to be praising it for its netcode, I can assure you that yes, you will still die behind cover every now and again, and yes, you will notice people warping around if they've got any lag or latency. Is it better than Battlefield? I would say so. Is it close to perfect? I'm afraid not. Now remember, this is beta, so it could be tightened up before the full release, and I would also like to mention and point out that this discussion about netcode is becoming more and more common with FPS games on the PC, and I think the question now that we need to ask as gamers is, are we reaching the current limits of network technology? I mean, the very nature of sending and receiving data from somewhere normally hundreds of miles away is going to have issues. I just really hope that this is not the best that we can do in this day and age. But again, only time will tell, I suppose. I'm hoping it will feel a little bit tighter on full release, and fingers crossed, it will be. Okay guys, so before the end of the video, I thought I would give you my conclusions and my final thoughts on the Titanfall beta, and basically talk about have I enjoyed it and stuff. And I think it basically comes down to, I am absolutely pumped for this game in theory, but when it actually comes down to the execution, and I'm not talking about a bad PC port due to sloppy development or anything like that, I'm talking about the aspects of design which baffle the mind as a PC gamer, such as the lack of modding tools, the lack of configs, recording, spectator modes, the lack of just all them features that PC gamers have become so used to over the years, and that are slowly getting picked away by certain developers. And Infinity Ward / Respawn Entertainment is one of the developers which is responsible for a lot of these features being dropped in AAA first-person shooters over the past 3 or 4 or 5 years. And that really hurts, because the game itself, like, if I was just to ignore all the aspects which come under the definition of PC port, for instance, the actual game itself and the way it's been designed is absolutely outstanding. It is excellent. I mean, the way that they've balanced massive mech titans with agile pilot play, and the actual whole way that the movement system's working is very, very impressive, and that cannot be overstated enough. Honestly, it is very impressive just to be able to move around a map so freely. And I want to love this game so much, and I have enjoyed my time with it. The thing is, if there is not a solution to this 60 FPS lock, I will not be purchasing this game. And if there is not a solution to this horrible negative mouse acceleration caused by this locking the mouse sensitivity to your frames per second, I will not be buying this game. If the DLC model is exploitative, I will not be buying this game, and it's a real shame, and I'm not doing it to boycott or to prove a point. I'm doing it because if these things make it through to the full release, I don't believe it's a valuable purchase. And that is basically my biggest worry with not only Titanfall now, but any games which come out of Respawn Entertainment in the future. We know that this game was developed on the Source engine, so we know what it was capable of feature-wise, and we know that these features have been taken out deliberately. It's not just been forgotten about or they don't work anymore. Certain ones would have needed an awful lot of tweaking, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I suppose that's what it comes down to. I've enjoyed my time with the beta. The game design itself is really good. It just comes down to the PC ports and the features, which have got me quite worried, to be honest. And for that reason, I don't know if I'm going to be picking up this game at launch. And I kind of wish that we could just have some clarity on some of the features that will be added and will be working for launch. Anyway guys, IAmPixel, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. It was something a little bit different. I've never done a first impressions in this kind of format. If you did enjoy it, then I would very much appreciate it if you slap that like button. And if you're new around here, don't forget to slap that subscribe button for some more PC gaming goodness. Like always, IAmPixel, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye guys, bye bye.